In principles of economics classes, we often learn to identify deadweight loss triangles from taxation underneath own price demand curves. In graph 10.8, however, we showed that deadweight loss triangles are actually areas under marginal willingness to pay or compensated demand curves. We will therefore investigate in this graph how much of an error we introduce and what kind of error we introduce if we measure deadweight losses on own price demand curves instead of the correct compensated demand curves. We begin in panel A by assuming that housing, or H, is a normal good. The point A indicates how much housing this consumer will purchase under the housing tax that has raised the price of housing to P plus T. If housing is a normal good, then both the substitution and the income effect will point in the direction of more housing consumption when the price of housing falls. So at the lower before tax price for housing, point B, which incorporates the substitution effect, and point C, which furthermore incorporates the income effect, will both lie to the right of point A, with C lying to the right of point B. Connecting A and C gives us the own price demand curve. Connecting A and B, on the other hand, gives us the marginal willingness to pay curve corresponding to the after-tax indifference curve. In graph 10.8, we illustrated that the area labeled alpha here is equal to the actual tax payment the consumer makes under the housing tax. We also illustrated that the area labeled alpha plus beta is equal to the maximum lump sum tax we could have extracted from this consumer without making her worse off than she is under the housing tax. This led us to the conclusion that beta is the deadweight loss triangle. If we made the mistake of using the uncompensated demand curve to estimate the deadweight loss triangle, however, we would estimate that triangle to be equal to beta plus gamma, the green and the blue shaded areas. Thus, we would be overestimating the deadweight loss from the housing tax by the blue shaded area gamma. In your Principles of Economics class, you probably learned to estimate deadweight loss triangles from taxation along own price demand curves. We can see here that that's actually accurate only in the special case where the tax good is a quasi-linear good. When the tax good is a normal good, using the own price demand curve to estimate deadweight losses will cause us to overestimate those deadweight losses and thus the inefficiency of the tax. If the tax good is an inferior good, on the other hand, using the own price demand curve will cause us to underestimate the deadweight loss and thus underestimate the inefficiency of the tax.